urgent phone call from a strange young man has brought Elizabeth Stoddard back to the great house at Collinwood. She is not aware that the purpose of the call was to get her to leave her daughter, Carolyn, alone in another house, on an island, 50 miles distant. And now in that house, Carolyn Stoddard is in the greatest danger she has ever known.
Mr. Rumson? Mr. Rumson, please. Come quickly.
I couldn't go through with it. She could hear me and understand. I want you so much to understand.
What went wrong?
Nothing.
But what about the ceremony?
There isn't going to be a ceremony. Not tonight.
I don't understand. Why have you changed back into this form?
He's terrified of me. And the way I look. I can't be that way. I don't ever want to frighten her again.
But if you'd gone through with it, she would have changed back into your true form, and then she wouldn't have been frightened anymore.
I can't do it that way.
Won't she wake up?
She'll remain unconscious for quite some time.
We're gonna have a problem when she wakes up, though. She's seen you as you really are.
She won't remember anything when she wakes up.
How do you know?
Because I know. Now stop questioning me.
You're really upset by this, aren't you?
Yes, I'm upset.
What are you gonna do now?
The way I really look is repulsive to her. So I can't look that way. But she's attracted to Jeb Hawks. And she will be attracted to Jeb Hawks. I want her to come to me willingly.
And then go through with the ceremony.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? There's no other way. Of according to the book.
Now, don't preach to me about the book, Mr. Rumson. I know all about it, and I know what I have to do, and the book has nothing to do with it. Do you understand?
She's created doubt in your mind, hasn't she?
She has. I'm quite capable of handling it.
What's your next move?
You're a man of action, Mr. Rumson, and quite successful at it, thanks to us. What would your next move be?
If I were you, I wouldn't stay here too much longer. I don't think the girl should know you were here as Jeb Hawks, and I don't think Jeb should know.
Right, on both counts. Now, I want you to eliminate any evidence that I was here tonight.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
And after that, you go back in there, you stay with her, and make sure she remembers nothing when she wakes up. After that, report to me and call me.
You'll be back at the shop?
No. I think I'll go to Collinwood.
Collinwood? What for?
I think it's about time that I had a meeting with my future mother-in-law.
Put the phone down, Mrs. Stoddard. Put it down.
Who are you? What are you doing in this house?
I was waiting for you, Mrs. Stoddard. I thought I'd take a look around the place, get acquainted with it. I'll be spending a good deal of time here.
Tell me who you are.
Bruno's the name. But the name won't mean as much to you as this will.
I see. You've come to give me instructions.
Exactly. Shall we go in the drawing room where we can be comfortable?
Is something wrong? Is that why Jeb wanted me to come back here?
I don't know why Jeb wanted you to come back here. I only know you're to stay here and speak to no one until you hear from him.
Why?
Ours isn't a reason why, Mrs. Stoddard. We're obligated to obey everything Jeb says. Aren't we?
Yes, of course.
I must say I like this house. It'll be ideal for us when the time comes. Don't you think?
Yes, ideal.
Sit down, Mrs. Stoddard. Make yourself comfortable.
It's that animal again. It must be very close to the house.
Yes, I heard it before when I was upstairs. Do you know what that animal is, Mrs. Stoddard?
Could be the same one that tried to attack me in the woods
When was that?
some time ago. I thought it had been killed or captured since then.
What did it look like?
It looked like a wolf, but it walked upright like a man.
and wore clothes like a man.
Yes.
So this animal isn't new to Collinwood. It's been here for quite some time.
Yes. Do you know something about it?
Earlier this evening, I ran into it in the woods. I fired a pistol at it, wounded it badly, but it managed to get away. It is somewhere near the house. Maybe I can finish it off.
You're not going outside, are you?
That animal is a greater threat than you can imagine, Mrs. Stoddard.
Why?
Because it isn't looking for just an ordinary victim. It's looking for someone particular.
Who?
Jeb Hawks.
Mr. Rumson.
I'm beginning to think my house doesn't agree with you.
What happened to me?
Don't you remember?
Did I have another bad dream?
Well, if you did, it must have made you walk in your sleep.
Walk in my sleep? I've never done that in my life.
Well, I can't imagine how else you could have gotten out of bed and not remembered.
Was I out of bed?
Yes. I was doing some work in my study. I heard something crash in here, so I hurried in to see what happened. I found you lying unconscious on the floor. You must have tripped and hit your head.
Yes, my head does hurt.
Do you feel all right now?
I feel terrible about having been such a burden to you tonight.
Don't bother. I'm staying up until Angelique gets back.
She hasn't come back yet.
Oh, it must just be the storm. I'm sure when it lets up, she'll get the first launch back to the island.
I can't understand what's happening to me tonight.
I guess it's just the strangeness of the house.
Now I've been here for almost a week and I've been fine until tonight.
Are you quite sure you don't remember getting out of bed or what happened after that?
I do seem to recall hearing a banging sound. Yes, I do remember getting out of bed.
And what did you do?
My window was open. The shutter was loose. I went to fix it. Then I...
You what?
I don't know. You must be right. I must have started back for the bed and somehow tripped and fallen and hit my head.
Yes. I guess there can't be any other explanation. Can there?
No, I guess not.
You must be Mrs. Stoddard.
You're Jeb Hawks, aren't you?
Well, I like you already, Mrs. Stoddard. We have a lot of talking to do. Where is Bruno?
Oh, we heard an animal howling in the woods. He went out to hunt for it.
Let's hope he finishes it off. Did you suggest taking Carolyn to Little Windward Island, Mrs. Stoddard?
No. It was Barnabas Collins.
Well, I should have been notified, shouldn't I?
I assumed you had been.
Well, before you make such assumptions in the future, think first.
Very sorry, I had no idea.
That's all right. There's no harm done. But there is something you must do.
What is it?
Now, Barnabas is going to want to know how I found out where Carolyn is. And you're to say you called me from Little Windward and told me.
I understand.
But you are not to tell him that I called you back to Colin. You're to say you came back for some personal business.
Why did you call me back?
Well, I'd heard you were so devoted to the cause, Mrs. Stoddard. I was anxious to meet you.
I've looked forward to this meeting, too. You see, I told Barnabas some time ago I wanted Carolyn to become one of us. He keeps telling me the time isn't right.
Well, Barnabas is no longer in charge. I am. Now, I've met Carolyn, and I've been very impressed with her. But, I'm interested in her welfare as you are, Mrs. Stoddard. She definitely has a future with us.
Hello?
Mother, you promised me you'd telephone as soon as you got back to Colin.
I know I did, but I was held up in the storm. I only got back a few minutes ago. Haven't you gone to bed yet?
Yes, but I woke up a little while ago and haven't been able to go back to sleep. Is everything all right there?
Oh, yes, just fine. As a matter of fact, there's someone here who wants to speak to you.
Who?
Why don't you let me surprise you?
Hello, Carolyn. It's Jeb.
Jeb! What are you doing at Collinwood at this hour?
I had to come because of you.
What are you talking about?
I was in my room in town, and I suddenly woke up, and I had a terrible feeling that you were in trouble and needed me. So I got dressed and came to Collinwood to find out if you were all right. You are, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am. Thank you for being so concerned about me.
When are you coming back to Collinwood?
Sometime tomorrow.
Well, I hope I'll see you then.
Yes. Yes, I hope so. Good night, Jeb.
Good night. What happened out there?
That animal's nowhere to be found.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Mrs. Stoddard. We'll be talking again soon.
I hope so. Good night.
Good night.
What happened on the island? Did you go through with the ceremony?
No, and I'll explain why I didn't later. Right now, I've got a personal score to settle with Barnabas Collins. I think we have a traitor on our hands, Bruno.
I'll go with you.
No! I'll handle this matter alone.
But it's dark out there. You can't go through those woods alone.
You said that animal wasn't out there.
Well, that doesn't make any difference. He could still be there somewhere. Look, it's almost daylight. Why don't you wait until the sun comes up?
No, this is too important to put off, Bruno. I want to see Barnabas Collins now.